Hi class, it's Wednesday and I wanted to send out the screencast and email reminder to get started on your grammar and mechanics lab. Your lab is due by 5 p.m. Friday. So you have a couple more days and you also have the one-page writing assignment due on Friday and the quorum form that's ongoing throughout the week. So just make sure you manage your time well. I wanted to make sure everyone was on the same page when it came to the grammar and mechanics lab. So I'm making this screencast video so you can follow along and see. When we get into the home page, what you'll want to do is scroll all the way down to the bottom past all the other things in our class. You'll find the grammar and mechanics lab right here at the bottom. There's three things that you can look at. The first tab just kind of explains what the grammar and mechanics lab is, and we'll go in there in 1 second and read. And then the grammar and mechanics concept of the week will bring forth each idea that you need to understand. And there'll be videos, PowerPoints, links to go look at and read stuff. And then finally, the grammar and mechanics lab, which you'll see is worth a total of 18 points. That's for the entire semester. And this lab will always be this one lab. I'm not going to create several different discussions for each week. So you'll just continually go in there and work. And I'll assign points every week based on the date of when it was posted. So that's how I keep track of when you're doing things. So let's go in here and learn a little bit more about the grammar and mechanics lab itself and what I've written here if you haven't read it yet. Well, the grammar and mechanics lab is group work assignment. So one group work assignment that we have. Every week you're going to get a new concept to review and learn, and then you're going to complete an exercise together, or a few exercises. As you'll see this week, there's a few different ones. How exactly does a group work? Oh, you're actually randomly assigned groups at the beginning of the semester. And you're going to be in this group for the entirety of the semester. So my hope is that you'll get to know each other, you'll know who has strengths, who has weaknesses, help each other out, and it'll be kind of a cool group peer work thing. Please also know that some of you may be moved around due to enrollment fluctuations. Each group is going to be randomly assigned a leader. That might be you. The leader's responsibility is to decide who's going to work on what and divvy up the work. Each of you, though, has the responsibility of helping each other out. Some of you, these concepts might be super easy review, and then others of you, it either has been a long time since you've heard the concept or it could be completely new to you and it might come difficult. So just please be respectful and patient with each other, and the best way to learn something is to teach it to someone else. Your goal is to learn the concept well enough so that you can apply it in your own writing. Getting all the answers correct is not the goal, although if you learn, you'll probably have correct answers. I'm not grading this assignment based on how many answers your group gets correct. Rather, I'm looking at how well you collaborate and learn from one another. Ultimately, you will be graded for grammar and mechanics in the quorum forum, your one-page writing assignments, and the larger essay. So make sure you ask your group mates every question you have and really learn these concepts with each other. I also wanted to point out a little tip is that you can use this space to peer review each other's writing, specifically looking at the grammar concept for the week. So don't be shy, post your one-page writing assignments to the group and ask them to review your grammar and mechanics before you turn it into me for your grade. And then down at the bottom right-hand corner is a button that says Next. And you may have already noticed these or know Canvas well, but for those of you that don't, you can click on that and go to the next scene that was lined up. In this case, this is where the concept of the week will be. And if you scroll down, you'll see here's week 1, June 11th through the 15th. I want you to review a PowerPoint on fragments and run-ons, and then you can read a little bit further about sentences, and you can read more about run-ons. All of this stuff here is for your aid and your guidance. You could technically read none of it, and that's perfectly fine if you already understand the concepts really well. but this is here for you. So as you're going through the exercises, you might find that you'll have to go back here and review some stuff. I like to put questions for you to kind of consider. You can talk about these questions when you're in the lab with your group mates, and it kind of makes you think about the grammar concept itself. And then finally, you'll have the exercise. In this case, because we're doing fragments and run-ons, I have you doing an exercise on fragments, an exercise on run-ons, and then one that kind of incorporates both, just so you get lots of practice. You don't need to copy and paste this or attach it or do anything in the lab. Rather, instead, you're just kind of helping each other out, talking about the concepts and talking about the answers and things like that, and just really learning and understanding it. And then if you scroll down, you'll see that there's all the future weeks down here that will be added the Friday before the next week coming up. So you'll see this up here, this Friday week 2 will be added. And then again, down in the lower right-hand corner, you can click the button next, and you'll be brought to the actual grammar and mechanics lab. Now, because I am the teacher, I actually can see all the different groups, but you at the top here will only have access to one of these groups. So you can just click on it and you can go into your group and start chatting. Just want to talk a little bit about the lab itself. So every Friday by 5 p.m., that's when I'll go in and I'll see and grade. This is how I'm grading it, just to kind of break it down so everybody understands and is clear. So each week, your group's collaborative effort will be graded on a 3-point scale for a total of 18 points at the end of the semester, 3 times 6 weeks. Receive the full 18 points, and you'll get the full 15% of your final grade for grammar and mechanics. So this is how you get 3 points. Every single one of your members has participated equally. There is considerable discussion with each other and evidence of learning from one another. Each of the groups has 5 or 6 members in it. So if it's just you and one other person talking back and forth, that means that 3 or 4 other people are not participating. You're not going to get your 3 points. You got to get them. So I suggest that you look and see who your group mates are and email them and reach out to them and say, hey, we got to get started on this. 2 points are for when all members have participated, but maybe not equally. I know with group work, sometimes there's that one person that does all the work and everybody else rides on their coattails. So I'm looking to see who's actually like out there posting things, writing stuff, bringing in links, doing the stuff, versus somebody that goes, yeah, that's great. So that's not participating equally. Well, you want to kind of have it equally. If I see that everyone participated, but it's not equally, you're probably going to go down to 2 points. And there should be some decent discussion and evidence that you're listening to each other and learning. And finally, you only get 1 point if a few of your members haven't participated at all, or maybe all of them participated, but again, not equally. But this is the key. There's just little to no discussion or evidence of learning from one another. It's like you all posted individually and weren't really listening or thinking about it as a whole or as a group. That's going to get you a 1. If nobody posts anything, you're going to get 0. So just something to kind of think about as far as the points go. Here's the directions. You'll want to review the grammar and mechanics concept for the week. Make sure you read their materials carefully, watch any videos or PowerPoints, and then look over at the exercise. Looked over at the exercise, you want to head over to the lab and post your questions to your group mate. Get started tackling the exercise. Don't just provide answers. Explain how you arrived. Why is that the answer? How do you know? Explain. Use materials provided for you to explain. Refer back to it often. Some tips. If someone in your group posts an answer that you know is inaccurate, gently help them understand the correct answer and explain. If someone corrects someone and you know the correction's inaccurate, gently help them understand the correct answer and explain. If someone posts an answer that you know is correct, chime in and explain why you agree. Don't be afraid to go against the grain. Don't blindly follow everyone. Think, read, review, and learn. So that's essentially what you'll be doing for the grammar and mechanics lab. So go ahead and get on there and start collaborating because you have a couple more days till it's due.